Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. You know the usual around here. I'm Mand, or Mystic Mand, here on YouTube and all my other socials. So, as you probably can tell by the title of this video, I seen, is it Lisa Papez, do a video reaction to, I believe her name is Kyra. I'll link the original. I'll make sure I link the original in the description box below. But this is living in a tower deck, or if you could live in a deck with, you know, what ones. And I have a few decks that I would love to live in, but I thought, just to add my own little twist, this isn't my own original ID, first of all. This is Kyra's. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name Kyra. I'm very sorry if I'm not. But this is her own video, but I couldn't really decide. If it was left to me, I'd probably have pulled out all my decks and be like, well, I want to live in all of them, but for all different reasons. But before we get into any more of that, I just want to say hi. Welcome. First of all, you know, let's get all this stuff out of the way and then we can get into the video. If you wouldn't mind liking the video, I appreciate it. It helps get my videos out there and more people to see this. Subscribe if you want to be part of the family. I do deck walkthroughs and spiritual videos and chit chats, and what else do? I do paranormal videos occasionally, and just kind of a mix mash of stuff, but it normally falls within the spiritual aspect. And sometimes we do crystals and all that good stuff. So if you don't mind kind of a mix mash of stuff, then this is the place for you. Come join us, we'd love to have you. Anyway, getting on to the video. And yes, oh, hit the bell as well if you want to be notified when I upload. I kind of have like either on a Wednesday or Thursdays when I normally upload. And for those of you who don't know that, I am actually based in Ireland. I live in Ireland, and yes, that's it. That's it. We're going to keep it simple. So, I wanted to add my own twist to this because I couldn't decide. Otherwise, this video is going to be an hour long. So what I was going to do is come back to this again next month and kind of do different seasons based on the decks that I would live in. I couldn't narrow it down, to be brutally honest. I just couldn't narrow it down. So what I've actually done is like an autumn Halloween kind of edition, because I love Halloween. And I wanted to do kind of the Halloween or spooky decks kind of that I would love to live in, and then maybe next month kind of come back and do a Christmas or Yule edition, you know, or winter edition, even not even just Christmas but a winter edition, and so on and so forth. It was just really hard for me to pick a handful of decks because there's so many that I'm looking at going, oh, I'd love to live in that, and you know. So I have 5 tarot decks. Yeah, 5 tarot decks and 1 oracle actually, which is surprising because I am mainly really an oracle girl, to be honest. But look, I'm pretty sure there's probably more I could pick, but these are the ones I narrowed it down to. No particular order. I love all of them equally, but we are going to start with the first one that's the newest to my collection actually, and I did a walkthrough, so I will try and remember to link that one too below if you want to see that walkthrough. And First Impressions is the Trick or Treat Tarot by Barbara Moore, and it's illustrated by Jonathan Hunt, and this box is massive. I'm going to turn it this way so you can kind of see. Oh, I've done a whole walkthrough. I'm not going to get into, obviously, all that stuff because I've already done a video on it, but this is the deck because I'm actually working with it this week, and I love the backs. Aren't they just adorable? Will I just zoom you in a small bit now? We will. So this is the deck. It's a Llewellyn deck, but and I love Llewellyn's tarot cards. If I put it like this, yeah, you can see. Of all cards to get, I just love this deck. It is new, so I don't have much of an opinion, but I know I do love it. I would just love to live in this. This feels very movie style. Yes, there are some cards I'd avoid living in, but for the most part, a lot of the characters I'd love to just live in that kind of Halloween spooky town. Does that make sense? It's just there's something so mystical and cartoony, if that makes sense. I think it's more for me like that inner child, having grown up watching Halloween Town. I'm so sorry, you guys, I'm actually recovering from a head cold, so I'm a little bit hoarse. But I love the little ghost costume, and you know, having grown up obviously with Disney, so this just has all the nostalgia for me. You know, I would happily live in this, even though, to be fair, this is kind of like spooky, you know. But I would love to live in this, kind of just be, in one way, your own main character amongst many other main characters. I love, I'm not going to show you all the cards, but like, yes, I could see myself living in this kind of like this really tight-knit town, and it's just constant Halloween, and I love this Fool card so much. But just to get to know each of the characters, and that's what I feel with this, is just like, you know, you have the haunted mansion or the haunted house, and I love the incorporation of different characters within this, even though it's all themed around like trick or treat or Halloween. But I really feel this, like, it'd be so cool to live in this kind of world of where everything is like spooky and mystical, and there's like witches and werewolves and vampires and mermaids and excuse me, different kind of creatures. And yeah, I'd love to live in that. Love to live in this kind of, I mean, look at this. You could have a whole party, you know, the whole town gets together and we have a party, and it's just really tight knit, and yeah, and community is everything. Yeah, so that's the trick or treat. Oh, what am I trying to do? Trick or treat tarot, and that'll be the first deck I'd love to live in. And again, in no particular order, the next deck I would love to live in, I know this is kind of a bit of a surprise, right, is the Zombie Tarot. And I will tell you why, because obviously, isn't this the whole point of the video? There, the back. I'm hoping you can see that. Yes. This is just the great, I love anything 1940s, 1950s, 60s even, and maybe even before, but this is more 1950s, I believe. I love the idea of kind of going back in time and wondering what was it like back then, but also to incorporate zombies. Now that is cool because like I love The Walking Dead. I haven't actually watched the last couple of seasons. Is it 2 or 3 seasons now at this stage? But I absolutely loved it, and not that I'd probably survive a zombie apocalypse, if I'm being honest. I probably wouldn't last past season 1, you know. I'd probably be the first character to go. I love this Queen of Cups. But anyway, I think it'd be so cool. Even, you know, kind of just an experience for 24 hours, 48 if you really wanted to stretch it. But just to, it's something so different to the normal life not normal, but you know, the lives that we live now. I just think it'd be so interesting to live within not just the past era, but also something that is kind of like a future as well. Does that, well, not future, but you know what I mean, as in this is set back in kind of 1950s era, and then you also have then the zombies. So I just think it'd be so interesting to kind of live in that time. Now, would I live there permanently? Probably not. But then again, you know, I mean, if humans and zombies are coexisting together and they're getting on fine, okay, maybe they're probably not getting on okay here, but it'd be so, like, look at this. It was just an interesting time or space to live in. And just, I don't know, there's something, I love this deck anyway, but there's something about it that I'm like, yeah, I think it'd be interesting to live in this. Unusual, yes. But then again, I wouldn't consider myself very normal either. So, probably would not live in this the whole time, if I'm being honest. But I'd love to experience that. So I don't know, does this count as one? But I would be so interested to see. This deck just makes me laugh. You know, it's just the characters are so interesting, and then just the storytelling, and it's just, yeah, there's a lot with this, and I find it so interesting. But yeah, so this is a deck. Oh gosh, I'm just making a mess here. That for autumn, let's say, I would probably live here, yeah. It's completely different. It's probably, I don't think anybody would pick this deck, but like, you know, that's completely fair. I can understand why. So the next deck, if I could get this deck into the box, I can. I would love to live in is the Dark Mansion Tarot. This deck is just, oh my god, it screams Tim Burton. I love this deck. Now you get 2 extra cards, and of course I've mentioned this like several times. These are the backs, and this is one of the very few indie decks that I have. Sorry, no. Sorry, my voice comes and goes, but there's just something so cartoon and whimsical, and it really does scream Tim Burton. And there's something about the characters that I'm like, I would love to live amongst these people. It really does scream kind of Nightmare Before Christmas as such, but in its own unique way as well. I really, as you probably have seen at this stage, I love that kind of cartoon life. That just, for autumn anyway, these decks just, if I was to choose a season, or for the seasons and what decks I'd live in, I would happily live in this world. Like, as terrifying and all as this is, like the bed, I love the bed. I was like, could you imagine owning one of those? You know, I would happily live in this world. It's just, like, their clothes. I just love the idea of going back in time and experiencing that kind of stuff. And it just fascinates me. And I love the idea of, like, if you could live in a tarot deck, which one? And I think this one would be just a beautiful one to live in. The characters are just so adorable. They seem so, friendly in one way, but also kind of, again, that kind of cartoon, like you could see so many series within them. Does that make sense? Like, I mean, it's just the amount of different stories you could get from it, and like, I'd want to sit down with these characters and hear their stories and like how they came to be, and just, you know, sit around a fire and, or the castle, you know, wherever I'm living in this, whether it be a cottage or, like, I just love it. But I love the feel of these cards as well. But if I could live in a tarot deck, this would be it. This is just beautiful. Like, each character I feel has a story to tell, and I feel like you'd have, this would be the deck that, like, if I was to live in this one, I'd have great adventures. Do you know what I mean? It's like every episode something happens. This would be like that world. There's something happens all the time. Like, if I had to choose, I'd probably pick a house like this. Even though it's a tarot card, I would probably pick the most weird hickledy-pick kind of house to live in. I just love that idea. But I love that kind of gothic, even like the kind of Corpse's Bride is kind of given that energy too. And again, there's like the mythical creatures, and it's just, yeah, I really love to live in this deck. Again, probably only just for autumn. and Halloween and spooky season. I love this star card. So that is the Dark Mansion Tarot. And then the next one is, oh, I love this deck so much. I think I've mentioned this one a couple of times as well. I know some of these decks have appeared in other videos of mine, but this is the Boo Tarot, and I believe Kyra said the same thing. And I'm glad we're on the same page in that stage. I do agree with her. It is just the most stinking cute deck ever. And I would happily live in this deck. No problem. I would want to live amongst the ghosties. You know what? I'll probably even be a ghosty. That's the backs. I love the backs. They're like holographic. I would hope I'd be a ghosty in that sense. One of these cute little ghosts. Because, you know, I'd probably stand out a lot. But there's something so adorable about this deck. Like pumpkin spice, everything nice. Like just floating around being so stinking cute. I mean, and there's bats and pumpkins, and there's nothing creepy about this deck. There's nothing scary. I really feel this is like just one of those gentle but also to the point. And I love the little ghosts so much. Like, look at this Ace of Cups, like the lotus, and it's just, this is so stinking cute, and I'd want to live here. I don't really have much of a reason as to the fact that it's just so cute. And then like these little ghosts, and we'd all be ghost besties, and yeah, that's it. That's all I have for it, really, to be honest. I don't have any other in-depth reason as to why I would want to live here. I just do. And sometimes that's enough. That should be enough. With the rainbows, it's just, it warms my heart. And I just think, who wouldn't want to live here? Like, this just looks so cozy. I mean, he has a skull throne. That's good. It's just, I love this so much. Even the much heavier cards, or the darker cards, there's just something still bright about them. Like, look at that. That's so cozy. And I don't know what he's hugging, but it's a little spiky, and it's just so cute. And like, I'm here for it. I absolutely adore this deck. I get the whole sense of like, they may be cute, but don't underestimate their cuteness. You know, they can be fierce as well. And I love that. The pumpkins. And I can just see myself just wandering this beautiful little world with the ghost and my ghost friends, and just having the best time. And look at that, you can have a ghost family. And okay, I'm going to stop now, because I could stare at this deck forever. It's so stinking cute. If you don't have it, get it. It is worth the money. Like, look at that. There is one card I was looking for, but I can't, like, look at that. The Wheel of Fortune and the little ghosties, they're all dirty, and then they go into their little washing machine, and then they come out and they're hanging out, and they're just, you know, they're having a great time. They're having a great time, and I want to live in that world. And the last tarot deck I have, and then I have one oracle, and then this will probably be the shortest kind of video I've done, is the Green Witch Tarot. And you guys know how much I love this deck. To be honest, I'd probably split this between, well, I use this all year round anyway. I would split this between autumn and the winter. But that's the backs. I'm so sorry for coughing, you guys. I'm just still kind of getting over it. But this deck is, it just has all the feels. And there's something about this world that, for me, if I was to choose, and if I was really pushed to choose, this would probably be the world I want to live in. Like, just the simplicity of it, living in nature, being in nature, having a community of people that help each other and look out for each other. and being connected with nature, really being one, and using what Mother Earth provides us with, and the animals, living as one, really, you know, being in that flow. And I love that idea, and there's just something so earthy about this, and I would love to live here. You know, there's something very witchy, pagan about this, like, you know, with this Wheel of the Year, and I love that, just going and learning to be with the seasons, learning to change with those cycles. And I would love that, because the simplicity, the going back to basics is really the sense I get with this. Really working, I love the witch card as well, that working with the different elements, working with different herbs, and what the land can provide and what you can make yourself, you know, not excuse me, not being so caught up in this materialistic world that we live in. And, you know, while yes, I do appreciate that we are probably in one way privileged, we've also been, you know, we don't connect as much with nature as our ancestors would have. You know, they would have been out more and growing their own bits and pieces and building, you know, all those kind of things. And I know as we advance, and you know, that happens with life, but it's just to be, I mean, I'd love a pet lion, come on, who wouldn't? That I just love the simplicity of this, and just working with nature and being one. And there is one here, it's the page of, I can't remember, but it's one with a donkey, and I love donkeys, so I would own one. I would have a donkey. And there's just something so warm about this deck, and it's so cute. And again, I know I've said it several times, it's the simplicity, the even bartering, isn't that the word, like where you're swapping, so I cook this and you make this and we swap, and it's just, yeah, I love that. And then really connecting with the different elements, and then the different beliefs. If this is your belief, that's fine, but if you're, you know, if it's not, that's okay too. But just like, look at that painting by the river, like that is just, oh, and I don't know where my little, where is he? I've probably passed it now. Like, I love this. Like, this would probably be my house. I would probably live in this kind of cute little cottage style. And I'd be working away, making potions and writing in my book. And there he is, the Page of Wands. See? So cute. And there's my house. And there is my pet, my pet donkey. But just, I love it. I just love this. There's so much to it, and I could spend, again, forever looking at this deck. Right, so the last deck is the Spellcasting Oracle. I would just love to live in this, and I really feel in one sense it probably ties well in with the Green Witch. Sorry, that's the backs. And while I don't really consider myself a witch, I would say more kind of eclectic, really, to be honest. There's something, again, earthy about this deck, kind of mythical, nearly fantasy in one sense, that I'm just like, yeah, take me away, I'd love to live here. And it just has that kind of earth feel to it, and I do feel in one sense that it goes hand in hand as such with the Green Witch tarot. Like, look at that. If I had to pick a house, this would be my house. This is where I'd want to live. It's cozy, it's small, it's probably a little dilapidated looking, but you know what? It's kind of that you know, the witch that lives in the forest kind of thing. I love that idea. That home. It is literally home, and that, if there was one card out of the entire deck, this would be it. And this is where I'd want to live. This is where I could see myself living even now, currently. I would love to buy a house like that, kind of odd shaped and mix match, and just some place to call home. You know, this in one way feels kind of like very higher dimensional, even like sometimes a little celestial, is that kind of the word, you know, more like spirit guides and things like that. But there's also an earth element to it as well. So I love that. Again, out with nature, connecting and listening and just being, you know, a much slower paced life. Like friendship. I love that. Like doing rituals with your friends. And having cats. I'd have cats as well. And dogs. I'd have all the animals, to be honest. But yeah, this is the spellcasting oracle, and I mean, look at that closure. That is just, it's beautiful. It really is. So guys, that is my kind of autumn edition of the Living in the Tarot, or what was the other hashtag? I can't think of it. But anyway, that is they're the decks that I would live in autumn, although I probably live in the Green Witch all year round. If I had to choose one place to permanently live, it'll probably be the Green Witch. So my voice is going to go, so I'm going to actually call it a day now, because I probably won't be able to talk by the end of the day. So if you've watched this far, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And thank you to Kyra for such a fabulous tarot tag. Let me know in the comments below what decks did you choose, would you live in, and you know, what's your favourite? If you had to choose out of all the decks that I showed you, what's your favourite deck? I really can't pick one because I love all of them. Anyway guys, I hope you have a fabulous morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are in the world, and I'll chat to y'all real soon. Bye.